Other thing I did this week was I watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I heard that movie is better than Eternals.
So we're gonna hate watch Eternals eventually, right? Punch Mom came over and was like, "Do you wanna see what would you want to go in?" And I was like, "Well, let's watch the one that I hear is good first, you know." And
I'm free of this worry because like Paige is like completely disinterested in all
mm,
the Marvel stuff unless it's got Rocket Raccoon in it for
sure,
because she's madly in love with Rocket Raccoon.
sure.
So I just get to go, oh, I'm going to watch the garbage so I can complain about the garbage on my podcast.
It's a shame that they didn't drop death in her canonical comic book form because I feel like that would be a huge pop off for her
Hmm.
because it's skeleton lady with big curves,
Right.
you know. Anyway,
I don't
the
follow.
death in Marvel in the
Hmm.
comics
Yeah.
is skeleton face,
Okay,
but
got it.
the robes have a buxom curvaceous shape to them.
Okay, but is it like a fake? Like, is it all skeleton under there, or is like she's got a big rib cage?
I don't really think you get a look at it. You kind of just she's always roped up.
She's always got skull face, and then
Yeah,
she's chased. She's got
and that,
the
and
you
that's
know.
what Thanos is going for. But the curves
Mhm.
are there. We
Okay.
don't know. You know.
It's wild to me that like original Thanos, like they obviously changed it for the movies, but for like original Thanos being like, "Oh, please, mommy,
Simping,
step on me," like
simping for death.
come on, dude, what a
Yeah.
loser.
Um. So Shang-Chi. Like I didn't it's like full. I did not know anything about the character going in. That was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I know they're pulling something from the 70s or so, but yeah, I'm totally in the dark on the lore. In the end, I can say the movies like I enjoyed it, but it has very clear. It's still absolutely following the formula. The Marvel formula is alive and well and very strong and
And
very clear cut
mandatory.
in Shang-Chi. And I would say that the first act takes a while to get started. It lags in that in that way where your awkward protagonist is being a goofball before
Hmm.
shit gets real, and you're like, we've done this many times. We know the goofball protag has to establish himself, you
And then,
know.
oh no, it's serious because of someone to be dead or whatever.
And then the stuff starts going, and then it ends up being, then it ends up being fine, and yeah, there's stuff and it's enjoyable. There's definitely as well a feeling of like, what if Wakanda but Asian?
Hmm.
That's there where you're like, okay, this is gonna work. We can see how this works out.
You know
Um,
who liked that idea? The
mhm.
average Chinese guy going into the movies
Probably. Although I hear that
out
currently,
in the mainland China.
but I hear that it's actually not released there yet due to like
Oh,
political
seriously?
shit. Yeah,
Oh,
and like there's a whole problem with that because I was curious. I was like, yeah, how's that doing over there? Is it doing gangbusters? And apparently there's some shit that's leading to it being
so what's
delayed.
interesting about you mentioned the first act dragging? I've personally have not seen the movie, so this is second hand, and also I am not Chinese, so this is third hand. Beyond that, but I follow a YouTube channel called Accented Cinema, which is a film student who's a Chinese immigrant who actually immigrated to Montreal before moving out west,
Mm-hmm.
and he does a lot of really fantastic video essays on the state of like Hong Kong cinema or Asian horror or whatever. And when he watched Shang-Chi, he described a problem that happens a lot, particularly with movies that feature Asian Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue he had is that the first part of the movie, when he's in, I think it's San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
it felt very true to life. It felt like a realistic portrayal of like a first or second generation Asian
Mm-hmm.
immigrant that
Yeah,
had gone to
yeah.
San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
But once they go to China, the whole movie just fucking warps into now you're going home. your real home where you really belong, but you're still American, kinda. So, but this is where you're supposed, like, it's this worship.
Yes, right? That is totally a thing. But here's the thing, though. You can side skirt that because when I say Wakanda but Asian, I really mean that in that the going home part, but like it's even further because whereas Wakanda is the amazing hidden city, in this case the homeland is literally another reality.
This is another dimension.
It's another dimension. So it's not even part of. It's not even like, oh, there's like a hidden place in this. It's like, no.
I gotta be real with you. When they have to go through like a magic invisibility portal to Wakanda, it felt that way too.
It does. It totally does. Well, it does feel like Wakanda is in another reality, and it is. But it's supposed to just be sitting there with the shield around it. But in this case, it is like in lore. You are actually jumping through a portal, you know?
To the mythical land.
To the mythical, exactly. And in the mythical land, you see the mythical beasts that look like, you know, the like literally the large dragons and tigers and
your Kirin and your Firebirds and whatnot.
Exactly. A Ninetales walks up casually, you know? So that's the thing is like, it's like that effect of like, no, but now you're home, but the home is technically not a real place, so I guess you can do that, right? It's like what if you wanted to have a big old like Viking history movie or like returning to your Viking roots, but like they literally go to like Valhalla and not back to anywhere where real Norse mythology or Norse or like were or fought or took place, you know?
I have a quick question. I don't want a spoiler here, but like the main villain, he's a big name actor out in
Tony
China.
Leung.
I'm not personally Tony Leung. I'm not super familiar with him myself, but I do know that he's a big deal.
He's a hot, daddy aged man.
100%. Yeah, I've seen him. I know what that's about. But so he's out in mainland mystical China, and I'm going to assume he's a supremacist and an isolationist, right? Like keep everything in here. Like what's the core like?
No,
is it a rule the world thing? Is it a crime thing? Is it a isolationist thing?
I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's like he's a very well-known Marvel villain. He's
no longer played by Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And he's doing what that guy does, which is, you know, it's the Mandarin. It's not a spoiler. He's the Mandarin.
It's just so weird to me because like the Black Panther like analogs to this are so bizarre, in which in one the American going back is the hero and in the other they're the villain.
Yeah, in this case it's going back like to destroy kind of thing, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not about the Michael B. Jordan being like, you know, y'all abandoned us and now it's time
they
to take
shouldn't have killed him at the end of that movie. Oh man, I don't care what they have to do. Just have a new Michael B. Jordan just fall out of a portal. I don't give a shit.
It's just like, God damn it, why does he kind of have a point? You stuffy Wakandans literally went, nah, fuck this, we're leaving you to your own, you know, fucking devices, and we're backing out into our super portal to live our perfect lives. That shit sucks, bro. Yeah. Well, in this case, the excuse for the alternate reality is like they're busy. There's some stuff they got to do.
Okay,
so,
we're handling things over here.
We're doing stuff. We're not just going fuck all of y'all. We're out. Wakanda forever. It's shields up. You'll never see us again.
It's the thing you always have to do with once you establish. Wow, there's Yeah, let's take a DC story. Superman exists in your universe, and then you're dealing with a situation where so and so has to save a bus full of kids, and the viewer goes, "Why doesn't Superman just fly down from a different movie and save the bus full of kids?" And then the screenwriter leans over to you and goes, "Superman was busy doing a fucking thing in space or some shit."
So this is taking place in your MCU universe, and it's quite clear that, like, you know, no one's worried about the small scale antics of whatever's happening here, and whatever big scale antics are here, like, no one can know about them because they're happening in a fucking alternate reality, so it's fine, you know. But anyway, yeah. But like I said, once you enter the second and third act, I think things pick up and get pretty good, and Tony Leung does an incredible job. In fact, he's like, I feel like he steals the movie from Simu
A good
Liu
villain
and
often steals the movie.
yeah, and Aquafina and everybody. Like, he fucking does a great job. He does the best job in the, you know.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna raise my hand because I feel very ignorant. Who did you say was in the movie?
Did I say did I Aquafina?
That's a person?
Aquafina's a person.
Not a water bottle?
It is also a person. It is. She's a comedian. She's had some comedy stuff.
How do you spell that?
AWK.
Oh, are you serious? That is an unfortunate coincidence.
As in awkward, but aqua fina.
Oh my god. Now I feel awkward.
Yeah. It's a one name celebrity like Zendaya or Madonna, but it's Aquafina.
This up. Feeling like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw her in the trailer. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the gimmick name that's like intentionally chosen because it sounds like.
Oh, wait, hold on. It is a gimmick name because she's a rapper.
Yeah, sure.
That is not the name she was born with. She was born with a less water bottle based name. Okay.
No. It's that's her Hollywood name. Yes, that's. But she's choosing to be credited in movies and on TV.
All right.
As that gimmick name, you know, whereas like Dwayne Johnson switched it around to Dwayne Johnson pretty early on.
Can we agree that calling himself Dwayne Johnson was way better than that extremely long period of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
I think like what was the movie there? The one with the fucking, all I remember is like dirt and a whip. The rundown.
The runback.
The runback. The rundown.
The runback is what we would have called it.
The outback.
You're thinking of the rundown.
The rundown.
Yeah, the rundown.
Well, anyway, I think he was walking tall. Walking tall, probably. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So she's credited as Aquafina. So that's what we're going with for now.
I'm in my mid-30s. I understand what the kids are talking about.
I don't know if you'd like her her comedy anyway, so you're fine. I think it'll be okay. You probably weren't missing much that would have made you chortle. It's a little you know, different everyone's got different tastes. So but anyway, yeah, he does a great job, and you know, they have their big like cool fights with the big CG and the rings and the stuff and the whatevers. And then there's some MCU cameos that are like, oh hey look, it's ba-da-da-da-da, you know?
I saw a couple clips from the fight scenes in which it appeared that they were using the rings as an excuse to get people doing air combos.
Yeah, correct.
Which
Totally.
I think is probably... I'm not familiar with the rings at all, but that seems like a really, really good use of that.
It's an excuse to do air combos, and it's an excuse to do super jumps, and it's an excuse to do, like, super jumps into, like, Terry Bogard power dunks, you know, with the rings out. Yeah, totally a thing. At one point as well, like a bunch of like dragon scale weaponry and armor comes out, and it's like, I'm like, okay, Monster Hunter, let's see it, you know. But anyway, yeah, you know, it's I would say it's like I enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed the second and third halves, and I would say I wouldn't put it as mid. I'd say it's better than mid, but just realize that it's gonna have a bit of a slow start, and you know, and that's Shang-Chi, and it will clearly return. It's definitely a like this is MCU next phase setting up.
So does this set up a situation in which, like similarly to Doctor Strange did, where at the end of this Doctor Strange, the Benedict Cucumber Man looked at the camera and goes, "Now the MCU will have magicians."
No, not that. I mean, what it does do, it does two things. It does the thing where it's very clearly just like, all right, tiny adventures for tiny folks, and then like, oh, but the big leagues await you. You know, will you be ready to step up into them, Peter? But more importantly, what it does is it, with every fight scene and big explosive air combo thing and cool Michelle Yeoh, like, you know, wind controlling moment, it erases the entirety of the Netflix MC universe from existence. The entirety of Iron Fist just gets wiped the fuck out by going like, nah,
like
this
that's
is
a big loss.
This is the real. This is the martial arts energy for the MCU going forward. I think the
only parts of that anybody really cared about was every character that wasn't the Iron Fist guy. I know a lot of people liked like Jessica and Luke.
Yeah, Jessica Jones and you know, Luke Cage and Daredevil and Punisher. Yeah,
like, I really like Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I think that's great. And I think John Bernthal as Punisher is one of those castings that they would, if they were to bring Punisher into the MCU, they would be like, "Hey, I'm John Punisher," and it's still John Bernthal.
For sure.
Wow, he is actually literally John Punisher.
I mean, like Jay Jonah, you know, like you're just like, nope, this is him, no matter what reality we're in. But when it comes to Iron Fist, though, like, a lot of what Iron Fist was going for, and its plot and the things that it covered were all the same shit here, and this is just, we're just doing it better. So this directly erases Iron Fist. You can feel it aggressively.
Oh well. I still remember when Iron Fist came out, people were like, "Wait, this is supposed to be the Kung Fu guy? All the fighting in this show sucks ass."
Yeah. It's, you know, like, if you're going to do this thing and you're going to go like, all right, he's the white guy that learns the Kung Fu and he goes to do it. It's like, all right, cool. Is he good at it? No. Is the choreography awesome? No. Then what are we doing here? You know? Yeah.
Like, but when they were casting Punisher, right? They casted John Bernthal, which everybody had been familiar with Walking Dead and a couple of other roles. It's like, what does Frank Castle have to do? He has to be insanely, like, frothingly pissed off about his dead family, and he needs to be able to act like a big tough man that shoot the gun. We had all seen John Bernthal do those exact things like a year earlier, so it was like, okay, done. The guy who played the Iron Fist man, I don't even know his name. It's like, he's supposed to be a decent actor and he's supposed to do martial arts good. And then it came out, and it was like, oh, no, those aren't happening at all.
Not happening. And then I didn't fucking even see, or I didn't one lick of it, but then there was the team up season, you know, where they were the Defenders. So
I was just told straight up, just don't.
Yeah,
just don't.
Well, anyway, this establishes what that was trying to, and does a better job of it, you know. But yeah, and it's not, again, it's not perfect. There's some super like, oof, that's not funny. You held the camera too long for a punchline that's really not funny. But anyways,
some good old please clap energy.
Little bit of that. Little bit of that. Is Aquafina responsible for some of it? Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
You know, because they're both kind of like the goofy, out of place protagonists a little bit. You know. But ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, like I said, it works out. That's Shang-Chi.